Peace and grace, family. This is Darius Dior here. It's Stinking Kingdom Media, where we have real conversations with real people and we share real music here. Today, we got a very incredibly special guest. I usually let people introduce themselves.
Sure.
Because I believe that no one can really tell you who you are better than you can.
Absolutely.
Right? And so just for the sake of, the people that don't know you, that have never seen you before.
Hopefully most people. I don't try to be famous. So yeah.
Can you tell us who you are real quick?
Absolutely. My name's Chamberlain. I'm a 41-year-old. I'm a single father of 3.
Yeah.
I'm non-binary. I'm pansexual, and I came to all of that kind of late in life.
Yeah.
Lot of reasons why. Like, this has always been true about myself.
Yeah.
But it took getting through a lot of shit about how I was raised to come to terms with that about myself, if that makes sense. And so even though I'm on the, I don't know if you call 41 the older side, even though I'm on the older side, I'm still very new to a lot of experiences and still trying to get to know myself in a lot of ways.
Yeah, for sure. That's a short version. I know there's tremendously so much more to you than just that. And I always like to, like I said, open up the floor for people to be able to communicate that in the best way they possibly can.
Yeah.
But the reason I ask that question is because I want to give people that opportunity.
Absolutely.
But really what I'm asking you when I ask who you are, or to tell people who you are, I'm really asking is just for you to just tell us how you be.
Okay.
Right?
Sure.
You could be, bitter, angry, you could be happy, you could be glad, you could be an alcoholic, you could be a drug addict, you could be broken and sad, right? You could be, right? How you be? Ian?
For the last week and a half, I'm peaceful as fuck.
Yeah.
I am extremely, extremely peaceful. I only recently, publicly came out as non-binary.
Yeah.
And I did that after finally breaking down because it was really hard whenever I'd go see my folks, keeping it all in. They were the only people left to me close in my life who did not know.
Right.
And that conversation went horribly. It went so badly to the point where I finally did something I probably should have done decades ago.
A long time ago. Right.
And I've cut my father out of my life.
Wow.
That's
entirely.
A lot. It is a lot. But since then, it's like a giant weight came off of my shoulders. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's never been accepting of anything outside of what he expected of me. I grew up, in the 90s in St. Louis, which is very Catholic. I didn't even know Protestants existed until I moved to the South.
Right.
That is how
I'm
sheltered.
very Protestant raised. Yeah.
Yeah. My dad did a really, really, really good job of keeping me from having any idea that there could be anything in life outside of what he had chosen for his own life. Amazing. I wasn't even allowed to watch Will and Grace when that was going on, and Will and Grace is not great representation anyway.
That's a lot
for queer people. Yeah. And then when I was about 13, we moved to the South. I'm like, wait, what's a Baptist? And I was like, oh, there are Christians that exist that aren't Catholic. And that was so what else have you been keeping from me? And that kind of spiraled from there. So I'm a former Catholic. I consider myself agnostic at this point. I respect everybody's beliefs. I believe something out there may be true. I don't know what it is.
Right. You're still trying to discover that.
That is still part of what I'm trying to discover about myself.
Yeah, man.
Is trying to figure that out. But then again, also, I'm non-binary. I'm pansexual. Asking me to make a decision on anything is the joke. Is not going to be easy, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with the not knowing, if that makes sense. Honestly, not knowing is almost part of the fun of it. Figuring things out, figuring out what's true for me, which I'm finally kind of allowing myself to fully do.
Yeah.
My parents have known I'm pansexual for a while because I was forcibly outed by an ex a while ago. So this was my first coming out that I actually had control over.
Right.
Which was very freeing and very lovely. But I came to realize that even though I'm pansexual, I still had my dad's voice in my head after all of those decades telling me you need to try to be this certain way. And so whenever a straight presenting relationship put itself in front of me, which does happen
Pretty often.
Pretty often. I would throw myself way into it, and I'm realizing in retrospect that wasn't necessarily for my own happiness, which was unfair to this is unfair to the people that I was with.
Right.
It was to make myself more palatable to him.
Yeah.
It was to make myself smaller for him.
Right.
And I'm done with that.
Man, salute to you.
Thank you
for that, man. Salute to you for that, man.
Yeah.
I first of all, I want to say this too, man. You're the first pansexual white man. Matter of fact, you're the first white person to ever be on my platform, period.
Oh, hi, everybody.
So salute to the first white person to be on my platform, right?
Yeah.
I want to just add to that. The reason why I invited you here was because I recently saw that you had come out.
Yeah.
Right. And it struck me, right, in a way, because like I was like, well, I kind of always knew that about you, Ian.
Most people tell that to me.
Right. It wasn't like
no one's ever surprised.
News
except for my parents. But no one else is usually ever surprised.
Right.
When I've ever come out to them about anything.
Right. That
about
wasn't
myself.
news.
Yeah. Back when you knew me, it was news to me, if that makes you feel any better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Still a lot of self-denial back then.
Back then.
So much. Well,
Let me speak to that, right? Because you and I met each other at Verizon Wireless.
Yeah.
Obviously, you left a decade before
a decade ago.
Right?
Yeah, which is, I don't like to acknowledge that because that still happened in my 30s, so I don't want to know.
Right.
I'm not that old.
It also struck me not only because it wasn't news to me, but I knew that you were a father of boys.
Yeah.
Right? In that. And so, and I have family members and friends who are, who go by pronouns now and deal with the same thing, right? And so for the people that I know that know me, that are connected, and that, are in the same space, I just really wanted you to be able to come here and talk through how tough that is being a father of boys.
Yeah.
Right? There's a lot there, right, that you have. And I haven't really asked you a specific question. And it's tough for me to formulate it, right? Because I want to make sure that I'm communicating what my heart was feeling about you when you came out.
I hear you. I hear you.
It's like, it struck me. And I'm like, I want to hear him talk through this.
So,
you know what I mean?
With my kids, I've always been very clear. I accept who you are. I accept, whatever choices you make in life. I'm going to be there to support you. Whatever it turns out your life looks like, I'm always there. I'm always in your corner.
Yeah.
I mean, I came out to my boys like way before I came out to my parents. Like I let them know.
So what was that like? Like,
honestly, it was like a non-conversation. They were like, "Oh, okay," and then we just kind of moved on. Like, just described a little bit about what it was, but they already had a good awareness of what it was. So, okay.
How did you say it? You were like, okay, boys.
Just so you know, just so you know, I'm non-binary. I prefer to go by they, them. I still let them call me dad. That's fine. There's not really a good gender-neutral parental term that exists.
You don't let them call you dad.
Yeah, they call me dad, and that's what they call. I will always be their parent, no matter what gender I am, and that hasn't changed. And how I parent hasn't changed. Who I am as a human being is not any different. Because I know this about myself now, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Who I am as a parent is not any different because of what I now know about myself, except for I'm hoping it helps give my kids the bravery to be themselves, to not put themselves what I put myself through, not stick to societal expectations of what other people think they should be, but be who they actually want to be, whoever that ends up being. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it.
I did have a mild advantage here. So when we knew each other, did you know I was married?
I know we were on a team together.
Yeah.
And I know we sat right next to each other.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
And we had conversations that you probably don't remember. But I certainly
Probably
knew that
not.
you were married.
Cool.
I certainly knew that you were a family man. You were a man in the world just like me, taking care of his family.
Yeah.
Right? And we were together on that.
Yeah.
Right?
So, long story short, she's gay.
Okay.
And so there were many other reasons why our marriage broke up, but that was, part of it is that she realized that she's gay and she has half custody of the kids. I have the other half of the custody of the kids. So, for me, for my kids, for lack of a better word, queerness is normal. It's just like, oh, this person happens to be queer.
Yeah.
Like, it's not something that is anything I think they would ever judge anybody on. It's nothing that even like registers to them except for like a basic fact, like when they meet somebody. You know what I mean? Like, this is this person's name, this is, what this person likes baseball or whatever, and this person happens to be a queer person or not a queer person, and for them it's just a fact about a person.
Right.
Which is what I hope eventually society kind of gets to. It's definitely not there. Especially recently with the trans community, that is really fucking scary right now.
Certainly.
Like most of my, I think before we started recording, I said I'm not speaking on behalf of anyone else's experience. I'm not speaking on behalf of anybody else or any other community.
Any community.
I'm speaking on myself and on my own experience.
You represent yourself.
I represent myself, and as a non-binary person, I still struggle a bit with whether or not I personally identify as trans in this case, because for me this is just kind of how I've always been. So it's not like anything's really changed. I'm just accepting more things about myself. Yeah. But like most of the other people who are closest to me in my life, they are trans people and they are terrified right now. And they have a lot of really good reasons to be. Project 2025, it's just like the election coming up especially is like really, really scary for them. I'm lucky I can pass. If things get really bad, I can go back, I can pass.
Someone can see you and say, that's a he, that's a man.
Exactly. Right. Which internally, I fucking hate.
Right.
But if I need to do it to keep my family and my friends safe, I will do so. But I have friends who are making exit plans to like get to like more liberal states or even leave the country, just in case, which hopefully won't happen. I watched Kamala's speech, and I guess I'll say I have hope again, maybe.
Because of that.
I did not think Biden really had a snowball's chance in hell.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Doing anything. Yeah.
I don't think it was I don't think he's a bad person. I think he did the best he could for the country.
He's getting old.
He was getting old, and it was just sad to see.
Yeah.
And I am kind of pissed that they tried to hide it from everybody for so goddamn long. But at least he finally, we knew. It
wasn't news.
We knew, but like, there was still space where people were pushing for denial of it. You know what I mean? Like, if you weren't looking in the right places, you didn't really know for once the right-wing media was being more truthful about something, that they were being dicks about it.
Right.
At the time. I come from a journalism background, and so I watch way too much news.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. Which I occasionally have to take breaks from for my own sanity.
Same.
But it's been better lately. Weird aside, I also have ADHD, so I'm going to go on weird asides every once in a while.
But let me wait.
Go ahead.
Ian,
go ahead. Yeah, rein me back in, please, for the love of God.
In, right?
Thank you.
Because of this, right? Based on what you were just talking, that side.
Yeah.
There are people that don't understand why you have to, as a non-binary person, and for people that don't understand, this question is for people that don't understand.
Sure, absolutely. I hear you. Go ahead.
There's people that don't understand why you need to address yourself or ask people to identify you as they, them, and why you ascribe to that portion of it. Meaning, like, why can't I just normally, like normal society has taught me all my life, just reference you as a he, right, and not they, them? Like, why do you want me to play this game? This is for them, right? The people,
I hear you.
I get it, though. I get it.
I got you, and I got an answer for you.
And help them real quick.
Yeah,
Can you...
I consider it a basic respect. If someone asks you to address them in a certain way, you address them in the way they wish to be addressed.
Right.
You know? And yeah, I get it. Like, when I was growing up, like, there wasn't even a word for pansexual when I was growing up, let alone non-binary. Like, it wasn't there in the 90s. The words weren't there yet. People still existed. It was still around, but like, we didn't have the vocabulary.
Yeah.
But no, for me, it's just a sign of basic respect, especially for like people you care about. Like, that's been my story. If you respect me, then you will address me the way that I wish to be addressed.
Right.
And if a random stranger on the street misgenders me, yeah, it bothers me a little bit. I don't give a shit.
Right.
They don't know me. They don't know my life. But if it's somebody I'm supposed to be close to, if it's a loved one, and they're just outright refusing to address me the way that I wish to be addressed, they don't respect me.
Right. Not to mention the ability to have a conversation without saying he, without saying him.
Yeah.
Without even saying them, without even saying they, right? Just seeing a person, communicating with them in a way that they know that you respect who they are, right where they are.
Exactly.
Right?
And I don't mind, like, I don't mind correcting people if they're trying but they slip up.
Yeah.
It's not an all or nothing question. Like, this is one of the main reasons I don't talk, like, this is the reason I'm no longer speaking with my father.
Right.
I gave him some time. We had a couple of conversations about it, saying, hey, if you respect me as like a human, let alone as your kid, let alone as somebody who you purport to love, this is the bare minimum I'm asking you for. I'm not asking you to change your politics. His politics are horrible. He's been on Fox News, but like, he's literally been on Fox News as like a special guest before. Then if you can't give me that respect, then I don't need that energy in someone I'm supposed to be close to.
Yeah.
That's
right. Because you're already dealing with the world, and to have that within your close space is just tremendously valuable.
It's draining as hell.
Right.
It is draining as hell. And knowing I don't have to like go through that anymore.
Yeah.
I feel better than I have in years.
Yeah.
It's just a gigantic weight off my shoulders. And yeah, okay, it's sad. And yeah, there's probably a wound there, but that wound's been there.
Yeah.
Like, he's never accepted the other parts he found out about me that he did not like. So now it can heal.
Well, that's really what I wanted to find out, Ian, was how in the hell are you doing?
I'm doing pretty damn good.
Yeah, and just
I'll be honest.
And I know that this is, probably a tremendously monumental time in your life, man.
Yeah.
And I felt compelled to call you to this platform
absolutely.
and document.
Oh, I'm absolutely starting a new chapter right now.
You know what I mean?
1,000%.
And I'm just glad to see you grow in whatever
you.
space and way. And what I really wanted to also communicate to people too is that you specified that you're discovering, right?
Yeah.
Things about yourself. And this is really why it's important for you for people to not put labels on you, whether it be he or they or whatever. It's just respect.
Yeah.
Right? And just honoring someone's journey, no matter what it looks like, where it is or how it feels. And I think that it's incredibly important to tell stories like yours, man.
Yeah.
And that's what this platform is here for, man. So
thank you.
I thank you for having the courage to come and just.
Oh, absolutely. Happy to do it. I saw. I'm gonna mangle the shit out of this. But it was actually a quote from, I think, a pastor. It was like meant towards religion, but I took it like more to heart.
Yeah.
I consider it my duty to tell. It's not my duty to convince. It is not my duty to educate.
Yeah.
It is not my responsibility to, educate others. It is not my responsibility to do any of that. But just like, with people who are trying to spread the word, it's your duty to tell.
Yeah.
But it's not your duty to like force. It's not your duty to like, just you make them aware, you hope they hear you, and then it's out of your hands. Otherwise, you're going to drive yourself fucking insane.
Insane. It really is, man. I think, as a photographer, as a filmmaker, people know that I'm, Christ-centered, right? Like, some people feel like, oh, well, you can't curse around me, or because, and I'd be like, what's on your heart might not be friendly, and I pray that, that I can impact you in a way that would allow you to
I got two ministers and a nun who's passed in my family. She behind closed doors, then uncursed like a sailor.
Right.
We're fine.
Right.
Everyone's just a person.
Yeah, man. And we're all people at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But before we, wrap this up, I really wanted to just give you this moment. What do you want us to know? I mean, I'm talking about those people out there, those people, right?
Yeah.
Just anybody watching this right now. What do you want us to know?
Okay.
It doesn't have to be anything about you specifically, or it could be, or just in general. Like, could you just educate us on what you want us to know immediately?
I'm gonna say a couple of things, and I'm gonna shamelessly plug something.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So one, don't let yourself get trapped in like a bubble. Don't let, and that's a lot harder these days to, it's easier to say that than do it.
Then do it, for sure.
Especially if it involves your loved ones. Just keep your ears and your mind and your heart open, because it's still family at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Even if you disagree some on a lot of things. I mean, if you disagree about someone's fundamental right to exist, that's one thing. You know what I mean? So
Right.
there's a line there, but also take care of yourself at the same time. Actually, this is the main lesson I've learned recently. Don't sacrifice your own peace to keep peace for others.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's
And
huge.
now, to bring that down a minute, I will shamelessly plug something.
Plug something, man.
So after I did a lot of theater in high school, surprise. But I haven't had time, or I told myself I didn't have time, or other people told me I didn't have time to keep doing it. And recently I auditioned for a play, and I actually got cast in a fairly major role in the play, which I'm very excited about.
Yeah.
From November 1st through 10th, the Workshop Theater is going to be doing Arsenic and Old Lace. I'm going to be playing the part of Jonathan, who was originally played by Boris Karloff back in the 30s when the play first came out.
Yeah.
So they apparently think I'm a little bit creepy. I'm fine with that. And as far as I'm aware, as far as for live theater goes, it's the closest thing that's going to be out there to a Halloween show.
Okay.
Starting right after Halloween. Trustus usually does something. They're not doing it this year. I don't know why. So yeah, come out. It's funny and involves a lot of murder.
When is it?
November 1st through 10th.
November 1st through 10th. And where is it going to be?
The Workshop Theater.
Here in Columbia.
Yeah, here in Columbia.
Got you. Okay, cool. I know so you told us what you want us to know.
Yep.
And you specifically mentioned you getting back on stage. My second thing I wanted you to answer is what we like you, right? We just met you on the platform.
Thank
We
you.
like you. We rock with you. What do you want us to do to immediately support you in any way right now? What can we do? Where can we go? What? Right.
Excellent question. If you have anybody in your life who is trans or identifies as non-binary, just try to show them respect. Respect their journey. Respect that they know themselves. Respect that they know what they're talking about when they're talking about themselves, because no one knows more about yourself than you.
Come on, bro. It's Think Kid Media. If you are an artist, a small business owner, and you're looking for a place to just share who you are, what you do, Think Kid Media is the place for you to come. It's a platform for you to not only come and share those things, but we can also help you create content, do high quality film and photography. If you need those services, or you know anybody that need those services, please know that you can come here to Think Kid Media and get those things done. But again, it was a pleasure having you here, Ian. I really appreciate you, man.
Absolutely.
And if there's anything that I can do to help you, and you let me know.
Will do.
And next time, y'all check in with me. All right, it's Darius D. Peace.